McFarland?
Would you like me to do it from here? Or
I would like for you to, who is accepting this, Mr. Young?
Desiree Wise is here on behalf of CSCA, and
Okay.
she will receive that on behalf of classified employees.
Thank you very much, sir.
She looked really excited, not surprised.
First, I want to thank Jeff for letting me borrow his glasses because I left mine. Welcome. Welcome. Before the Board of Education of the Lodi Unified School District of the County of San Joaquin County in the state of California, proclamation reads, proclaiming and honoring Classified School Employee Week, classified professionals, indispensable, inspiring, and invincible, May 21st through the 27th, 2023. I always feel like Mr. Freitas when I go, whereas. Whereas Education Code 45460 designates the third full week of May as Classified School Employee Week to recognize the outstanding contributions of the classified school employees, and whereas classified employees have earned respect as educators and partners in our education community. More importantly, they have become recognized as the essential frontline workers who keep our schools up and running while making a difference in the lives of the students they serve. And whereas classified employees provide the operational support for the district in its purpose of educating children. Our custodial and maintenance staff keep our campuses clean and safe. Our bus drivers and transportation staff get students to and from school safely. Our office staff meets the needs of students, parents and administrators. Our nutrition service workers keep the students fed and ready to learn. Our technical staff keeps everyone connected online. Our paraeducators support students and help them overcome new challenges. And our other classified personnel, such as community liaisons, keep our schools environments positive and safe. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lodi Unified School District Board of Education hereby declare the week of May 21st through 27th, 2023 as Classified School Employee Week in Lodi Unified School District. Proclaimed this 9th day of May 2023 by Joe Nava, President of the Board of Lodi Unified School District. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we do celebrate, we will be celebrating May 24th at McNair High School for our annual Employee Appreciation Dinner. It's free for all of our members and their immediate family. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. White. Mr. Connexer has a comment.
I thought this would be a good time to mention this. I'd like to recognize two unsung heroes at Creekside School. There's two crossing guards that I run across. Well, I don't run over because they're there just to make things safe for the kids that are going back and forth in front of that school. I happen to be on my bike at bad times when they are on duty, Curtis and Robert, and so I've talked to them, and just two people that probably you never heard of, but they do a great job, and they always are in good humor, and I'm sure they're examples of the other folks that are working in those positions too. But I just wanted to mention those guys.
Thank you, Kerry. Any other board comments? I just want to mention, my gosh, how important the classified staff is. As a former teacher and coach, they were my best friends, best workers, from the secretary on down to custodians, to the groundsmen, to everything. You had to have those people. Schools cannot function without them, and that's a plus. Thank you very much for their work. Okay, we have a public hearing. I'd like to open the public hearing. Lodi Unified School District Successor Agreement with Lodi Education Association. Any comments from the board? Comments from the public? Student comments? I declare this public session closed.
Fill the committee meetings, but I'd like to introduce to you your new Measure L chair, who many of you have known for quite some time. Ms. Claudia Minuti, and also, if I may, She's brought with her Kimon Nguyen, Mary Pachinich, and Teresita Walker. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Nava, members of the school board. I am Claudia Minuti, and many of you recognize me. I've been up here before, but wearing the teacher's hat. This evening, I am the chairman of the Measure L Committee, Budget Oversight Committee. And the members of this committee first convened in January of this year. It was the first time that the committee had met since 2017. We were tasked to review the procedures performed and verify all financial expenditures with the supporting documentation provided by the district, including the financial audit reports prepared by Gilbert and Associates related to Measure L. It has been concluded that Lodi Unified is in compliance with the requirements set for the Measure L bylaws. However, this committee has one concern, and that is the Oversight Committee has not met since 2017. The lack of regular oversight creates distrust for all stakeholders in the community. The district's failure to actively recruit community representatives to serve on this Oversight Committee is troubling. It is suggested that future vacancies be filled by contacting community organizations, businesses, and school sites for potential nominees. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Minuti, for your report. It's such an important committee. I know that at times during the pandemic was very difficult, but now that we're intact with the committee, thank you for all the work that you do and keep us above board on all the audits and everything. Very good. Thank you very much again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now we have the superintendent's report. Sir, Mr. Young.
Yes, Mr. Nava, members of the board, it is nice to be here at Bear Creek High School, and we appreciate the hard work of Bear Creek staff in making this possible. This evening, I would like to share with you some exciting things going on, and it is about our summer programs in Lodi Unified School District. We have so many things going on for our children, and it is exciting to see. I wish there were more places we could show you and larger, because we have so many things happening that this spreadsheet may seem small to you. But we have summer school programs going on, whether it's high school summer school, whether it's credit recovery, whether it is part of our expanded learning opportunity grant or programs. Things are happening, and our students will be busy this summer. We in education know how important it is to keep our little minds busy during the summer, and that helps them transition from the end of this school year, which is approaching quickly, to the start of next. But not only do we have summer school programs, but you can see we have multiple partnerships with the San Joaquin County Office of Education, many opportunities that we are partnering. We've talked about our UOP summer program, and you should be proud as a board that you offer so many great things for our students. My understanding is we are at roughly 540 students participating in the UOP program, exposing students to college opportunities who may have previously not thought about college. And for them to get a hands-on approach and see what life is like in college is a great opportunity. And so just wanted to share with you as a board that there are great things happening in Lodi Unified School District during the summertime. Idle minds will not be sitting around, but instead they will stay busy, they will stay focused, and it'll help them make that transition. I'm also excited that we have a large crowd of people here, and many of this crowd are part of the new administrative team. So I am going to hand this over to Dr. Robert Solly, and he is going to share the names and positions of all of our new administrators, so you can memorize their faces and know exactly who they are. We will not have a game later trying to pick who's with what name. So with that, Dr. Solly.
Thank you, Mr. Young. President Nava, members of the board, it's my distinct pleasure tonight to read the names of 19 individuals, leaders who are accepting a promotion into their new position. Since it's kind of difficult to move around, I'll ask you to stand in your seat or in your seated area there and remain standing as we go through the list. Appreciate that. Thank you. First of all, I'll start with Kelly Collins. She will be a coordinator of Title I and area supports. Jamie Kite-Polinsky as well, a coordinator of Title I and area support. Nicole Vertar, principal. And just to briefly, some of these have been mentioned previously and obviously these are everybody named up until this evening. So some of the folks on the list haven't been named before, if you've heard before. Dr. Jesus Maron, he will be principal. Dr. Maron is new to Lodi Unified. The vast majority of our candidates tonight are Lodi products, promotions, and a tribute to our administrators who helped develop the next round of ranking of staff, as well as a tribute to our teaching community that's transitioning into an administrative role. Next individual is Mr. Jeff Pappas, will be principal. Mr. Joe Ward, also principal. I'd like to introduce Yasmin Herrera, also principal. And the next four will be assistant principals. Alicia Wong, assistant principal. Maya Taylor, assistant principal. Moshin, and I'm sorry Moshin, I will butcher your last name if I try. Hashimidin, thank you, assistant principal. Scott McCulloch, assistant principal. Carlton Wade, vice principal. The remainder of the candidates are vice principal. David Hodge, vice principal. I don't think David was able to make it tonight. There's one other that couldn't make it tonight. Brenda Luna, vice principal. Elizabeth Veramontes is unable to be here tonight. Fabiola Carter is vice principal. Jana Handel, vice principal. Marina Berry, vice principal. And Rob Hoffman, vice principal. And I also want to recognize and thank the family members and friends that came with some of our candidates. So this is a wonderful crop of our new administration. Thank you, everybody.
So, Mr. Nava, as you can see, we have a great group of people who are stepping into new positions or starting in administration. Let me just say that Jenna Handel received the prize. She was so eager to be here. She arrived at 6 p.m. this evening. So congratulations. It's always good to be early. So with that, Mr. Nava, I have nothing more to share. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for your report. Thank you, Dr. Sally, for your introductions. Very nice. Okay, now we go with our student representatives. I'll start with Alicia Lucier from Tokay High School.
Good evening, Mr. Young, President Sweetman, who you guys all know, he's been here a few times, as our ASB president, and Natalie Means as our senior class president. I also want to mention prom that we had on April 29th. Everyone had a great prom, and juniors did a fantastic job planning. I want to say congratulations to Juan and Kimmy for winning prom king and queen. We also have a few things going on for seniors, such as Disney Grad Night coming up this Friday. Seniors will get to spend the day at Disneyland, a very long day, it's like 24 hours, and enjoy Disney Grad Night with other high schools as well. Also, some of the Tokay parents and staff are putting on Sober Grad Night for seniors at First Baptist Church. They're planning a fun, welcoming, and safe place for seniors to stay after graduation. Student government will also be doing something memorial for seniors at Tokay. We're going to start next week having seniors put their handprints on the back of the concrete benches and their name. We call it our senior circle, but there's nothing there that has it memorable for seniors. So we're going to have seniors put their handprints on there and leave their mark on Tokay. Our senior class president is also working on planning a senior sunset on the football field with fun activities and friends to celebrate and commemorate for one of the last times we will all be together at Tokay. Tokay Student Government is also welcoming class of 2027 by making welcoming signs to put around campus on their orientation day. We are also painting and placing rocks around campus for students to find and keep. We are hoping these kind words on the rocks will make someone's day. And this concludes my board report. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for your report and informed us of Tokay High School. Let's have Joseph Gardia report, please. Joseph is from McNair High School.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Washer, Mr. Young, President Nava, and members of the board. I'm Joseph Gardia, and I'd like to share McNair High School's board report. Recently, McNair had the grand finale, the Tropical Hawaiian Blood ARC Blood Drive, and that was on Friday, April 28th, and our Eagles, alongside the mayor of Stockton, Kevin Lincoln, fought to remain the top blood donating high school in Northern California, and broke records as well. The blood drive resulted in 100 units of blood being donated and an all-time record of 23 turns of Power Red. This trophy right here was given to us by the American Red Cross Association for donating the most units of blood in the Northern California region.
Wow.
Currently, for student government and our leadership, our student government is working on ways to improve communication with students and staff, and all leadership classes are currently recruiting for the 2023 to 2024 school year. And our student government, link crew, conflict mediation, and the student body are collaborating to put on a carnival for all the students at the end of the year on May 26th. Our student government is also hard at work for planning our end of the year That's a Wrap rally. As well, our McNair student leadership and the student body are conducting a survey regarding McNair's logo. Regarding that, I'd like to share some information from McNair student body. Recently, a survey with McNair's new proposed logos was sent out, and immediately I began to receive a large amount of negative feedback from students and staff, and some of the comments that may have been included were, we need a new logo that represents our identity. We want a logo that we can be proud of, and the process of creating a new logo was unknown amongst a majority of the student body and faculty. A letter was written by one of McNair's students and was addressed to the board, and I have copies right here, so I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys. You guys can go ahead and read it one time. Thank you. The student asked to remain anonymous. So.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you. Also going on McNair, the graduating senior class of 2023, their grad night trip is on May 21st, and their senior decision day was on May 1st. So our seniors decide where they're finally going to college and what their future holds for them. Our junior class of 2024, the McNair's prom was last Saturday. McNair, once upon a time, and it was on Saturday, May 6th at the Stockton Ballroom. And I'd like to congratulate Kewan Barnes and Jordan Riego for being crowned our prom king and queen. As well, our incoming class of 2027 is having their parent freshman night on May 11th. And some recognitions and accomplishments on McNair. I'd like to recognize McNair staff and facilities, Miss Dory, the site supervisor, and her crew of custodial staff, Miss Gonzalez and the CTE and health occupation staff, Chef Owens, and the staff in the attendance office, and the PE department for all working together to pull off the ARC blood drive. For student recognitions, I'd like to recognize the culinary, CTE, and health occupation students for their exemplary leadership in coordinating and conducting McNair's Tropical Hawaiian ARC blood drive. I'd also like to recognize the class of 2024 and class of 2023 and even the class of 2025 for showing up and donating life-saving blood. As well, on campus, we had our CASP testing and our AP testing. So I'm a junior, so I had to go through the CASP testing, and I'm so glad. I'm so glad I'm done with that. As well, our co-curricular recognitions I like to make. I like to congratulate our Eagles for remaining the League of Legends esports champions, and I'd like to recognize McNair's drama department for putting on a spring play, which was the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which was on April 20th, and it played through April 22nd. Upcoming activities and events on McNair. McNair will host a senior awards night in our theater on Tuesday, May 23rd to showcase seniors who received a scholarship or an award. Thank you for your time, and that is currently what's happening on McNair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. My gosh, it took a lot of people to get that trophy, as you mentioned on your speech. I want to congratulate McNair High School for being able to do that. That's quite a feat to do that. Thank you for your report. And you're being as a junior, what are your plans for next year? Are you going to be with us, or what's it?
I plan to be with you guys for another year.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. I'd like to do this. I'd like to present Alisa with your little card here, your name tag, and a little gift. Thank you very much for your hard work. And just for you, come over here. Since you're being a junior, we're very thoughtful on getting this gift also. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm in the same boat, sir. We will continue on. I know we have some computer problems here, but we have comments from the public. 20-minute time period has been set aside for the public to address the board on items not listed on the agenda. Each public speaker shall limit his or her comments to 3 minutes. The board cannot engage in dialogue about public comments because of restrictions placed by the California Brown Act.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't get any cards for any public comments. Is there any public comments from the audience?
I left my card, I should not let me have it.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if I'm first in line.
Let me just check. I'll let you know. Yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Garcia.
Hi, I'm Ansuela Garcia, and welcome to the board. If I haven't seen you, because I've been teaching on Tuesday nights, so yay, Dr. Ball, yay, Sherry, yay, Jeff, welcome back. I want to give, first, I have two things. I want to give a Julia Morgan elementary report, because you don't ever hear from elementary schools, and we're awesome. So Julia Morgan is having our 20-ish celebration, because we're 20-ish years old. And so we had a Julia Morgan read-in the other day, organized by a former teacher, Amy Cooper, and 13 people came and read to us and left 13 books in our classroom, and it was awesome. And then we had a staff reunion party on Friday night where staff from the last 20-ish years showed up at a house, and we had tacos, and it was super fun. We have open house this Thursday. We're inviting our community, our neighbors, former parents, and students to come back. And then we're having a retirement party, including Jeff's sister-in-law, on the 24th, and I sent you guys an email about that. So that's what's happening at Julia Morgan Elementary. But that's not the main reason why I'm here. So I've been thinking about like moving forward, and first I want to give a shout out to Melina Puente, who has been our interim principal, and she has helped our school find our shine again. And so I want to thank you for that. I asked my colleagues, what do you want to see while you're looking forward? And when you were talking about classified staff, it's the people, we need each other to make this job happen. And so they said school counselors, mental health, social workers to do the job at all sites for more time. They don't get moved. So I get a counselor for 3 months and then they move them to another school. They can't build a relationship and make connections if they get moved around. Another thing people are asking for is consistent presence of paras to support SPED students and teachers. As para comes for a day and then goes someplace else. Another is clean and repaired campuses. We don't have enough people to do that job. We don't have enough people for mental health support. We don't have enough people for SPED. We don't have enough people to clean and repair our campuses. And the answer to that, what's the answer to that? Anybody? A fair contract that includes COLA and a raise, because I'm all the way over and all the way down, and guess what? I'm only 55 and I've taught for 33 years. I'm going to be the person that taught your grandma. All the way over, all the way down. Fair contract with a COLA, with a raise will bring people to Lodi Unified and help meet the needs of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia, for your comments. Jen Castle.
Three quick thank yous and a couple of requests, 2 requests. My first thank you, and I'm speaking on behalf of the ARBET team. I wanted to thank all of you for allowing us to present to the board on April 11th. We very much enjoyed that, and the team really wanted me to express my gratitude, our gratitude, for allowing us to present. I also wanted to thank the teachers, Teacher Appreciation Week, but also those teachers passed the ARBET MOU at 86%, which is wonderful. So we're very happy with that. Lastly, on the thank yous, we wanted to thank Dr. Ball for showing up at our meeting last week. We very much appreciated being able to share ARBET with you and talking about our hopes for the future. And those hopes for the future have everything to do with my 2 requests. We are trying to figure out next steps. We have 1 year and we're taking that timeline very seriously. And we would love to see the board do a study session in order to help with some of those future steps. We would really love to talk about the evaluation pilot, the IPD handbook, and the teacher career pathways. Did I say? I said 2, but I meant 3 because I've taught all day and I am tired. And I proctored that AP exam this morning, but I am here, and yes, I guess we would like to see a study session that involves those 3. But my second request, I think that might be where you're confused, Mr. Porter, is that we are going to be sending out a survey. And the survey is going to go to board members, district administrators, school administrators, and teachers, because we are looking to gather stakeholder information to help guide the vision of ARBET, to help us with these next steps. So we're hoping to send out that survey on Wednesday. So this is kind of ARBET wanting me to alert everyone that that survey is coming, and we would very...
Would board or staff like to pull any of the items on consent agenda A?
I would.
Board members, Ms. Ball?
Thank you, President Nawa. I would like to pull item A8 and A10. I have quick questions on those 2.
Mr. Nava, I'd like to pull A1, A14.
Any other board members? Okay, anybody from the audience? Okay, I need a motion, please.
I move to approve consent agenda A, less the pulled items.
It's been moved by Mr. Knaxat, second by Ms. Ball, to approve the rest of consent agenda A. Are we electronically voting, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, let's have student vote. Okay. Okay. Board vote? Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Porter, you have A1, Warren reports.
Yes. I don't have the ability to pull up A1, but let me see if I can here. I'm on A2. A1, there we go. Anyway, it was the Kingsley Bogart warrant. Mr. Khan, I believe this question's for you. I'm not sure if it's you or Mr. Young. I guess I should just say this quick question. I've been reading a lot about, of course, Stockton Unified and all the issues that they have. One of the issues, and I believe, of course, my mind, I'm getting elderly, was that they, the report that was issued to them from, I'm trying to think of the group that did
FICMAT.
I'm sorry?
FICMAT.
Yeah, well, it was also another group as well. I forget exactly the article I read. One of them had to deal with the fact that the lawyers, the groups, the corporations that, I know we have various groups that handle different items for us, that the board had never saw any bids. And I know that Kingsley Bogart has been with us for over, I think, 20 years. I might be wrong on that. And yet I've never seen a bid on any law firm that we, am I wrong on the names? Pay a great deal of money for legal firms. And I'm just pointing out Kingsley Bogart, I have never seen a bid come up.
Mr. President, members of the board, Mr. Young, I'd make 2 points. Number one, there's no statutory requirement to bid out a service for a California public school district. And number two, this board's already dealing with every single school law firm in the state every single year. So board has contracts obviously with Kingsley Bogart, with Atkinson Andelson, with Lozano Smith, with Dennis Wallover Kelly, with I forget the 3 F's in Fagan, the Fagan law firm. So
again, that didn't answer my question. Why don't we see bids on, I'm sure there are a lot of law firms that would like to maybe take some of our business. Is that not the case?
I don't, the board is not required to take bids for services.
Then why was it decided for Stockton Unified?
That I can't answer. But statutorily, you are not required to bid out services. That's something the board wishes. I'm sure that that can be worked out with superintendent, but
okay.
there's no legal requirement to
I'll
do
take
that.
that up for another issue. Thank you for your time, Mr. Khan.
Okay, item A1.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Mr. Porter, second by?
Second.
Mr. Knacksack to approve item A1. Student vote? Board vote? Motion carries 7-0. Ms. Ball, you have item A8.
Yes, I do, President Nava. It's just more of a question that I have. It's not questioning the resolution itself. When I read through it, I see that we need to make some changes at the end of the year, which is fine, some transfers. May I maybe request for it to be subsequently informed to the board of what changes were made or what transfers were made? So we're just in loop with the changes that were made last minute?
President Nava, if I
Yes.
So absolutely, we would inform. I can tell the board there are no planned changes at this time. This is a routine annual mechanism that will allow Director Andres and Senior Director Juarez to actually make budget transfers such that a fund or a resource doesn't go negative into the closeout of the year. But it happens annually.
Well, and again, it's coming because of what's happening with Stockton. It's not that I don't question anybody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if there is a transfer being done, it'd be nice to know where, when, and why it went there.
Understood.
Yeah. thank you. I do request for it to be approved then.
Okay, you motion to approve item A8.
Second?
Second by Mr. Knaxat. Student vote? Board vote? Motion carries 7-0. Okay, Ms. Ball, you have item A10.
I do, President Nava. This is a correction in date. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but it reads July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2023. Is it intended to be 2024 right there?
Guilty. So we'll make sure we make that correction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Ball.
Do we approve that?
Yes. But we approve it with a correction.
Yes.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve with correction.
Okay,
please.
Ms.
Thank
Ball
you.
moved that we approve this item A10 with the correction.
Second.
Second by Mr. Porter, A4A. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Need a motion, please?
I make a motion to.
Motion to approve by Ms. Ball.
Second.
Second by Ms. Alexander. Item A14, student vote. Board vote. Representative shall limit comments to 3 minutes. Any comments? Second by Ms. Alexander. Oh, Ms. McFarland. The students don't vote on discipline cases. Board vote, please. Motion carries 7-0. Other items, action items. Item A0A1, I1, approval of preliminary administrative and primary mascot logos for Claremont Elementary School and primary mascot logo for Murata Middle School. Mr. Young.
Mr. Nava, members of the board, we do have before you for your approval these mascots, and I do see that Ms. Shorter's here and she could speak on it if you had questions. Otherwise, we are just seeking approval.
Any comments from the board? Audience? Any comments from the audience? Need a motion? Approved by Mr. Knaxat.
Thank
Can you hold on just a moment, please?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm having a little technical issue.
Oh, you're doing the same thing I do.
Please hold for a technical issue.
Yes, technical issue.
Machine's just running real slow tonight.
President Nava, are we holding to make the motion again?
No, we haven't.
We have made the motion.
I apologize. I lost my train of thought when I go over there. Let's have the motion, please. We have a motion?
Move to approve.
Move to approve by Mr. Knaxat.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Stroh to approve item OA1A. Student vote? Okay. Board vote?
If you want to do a voice vote on this one, I'm
We can. Mr. Porter?
Aye.
Ms. Ball?
Aye.
Mr. Knaxat?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Alexander?
Aye.
Ms. McFarland?
Aye.
Mr. Stroll?
Aye.
Motion carries 7-0, okay? We go on to the other action item. Item OAI2, Resolution 2335, Students, Teachers, and Officers Preventing Stop School Violence Act 2018 established the School Violence Prevention Program. SVVP grant. Mr. Khan.
Thank you, President Nava, members of the board, Mr. Young. My 6th year in the Lodi Unified School District, this is our 6th application for this grant. We've received it twice, once in 2020, once in 2021. The 2020 allocation was $300,000 with $100,000 worth of district match. The 21 award was 165,000, roughly 40,000 district match. We've used it for cameras and monitors in 2020, and we've used it for gate access controls in 2021. Love to say we'll go 3 years in a row, but it may not be our year because we have been recipients of it in the past, but we do need this resolution in order to apply for the grant.
Sure. Thank you. Any comments from the board? Comments from the audience? Resolution to approve this, please.
Motion approved.
Moving to approve by Mr.
Second.
Porter, second by Ms. McFarland. Student vote.
We're back.
Okay, we're back. I can't get to that. Let me see. Wait. All right, we're back.
I don't know if I'm on the right one. Okay, now?
Okay.
Okay. Mine go through? I thought mine, oh, it is too.
You got it, Jerry?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, motion carries 7-0. Item OA13, credential waiver application and approval. Dr. Dosti?
President Knowles, members of the board, board approval is required for provisional internship permits.
Any comments from the board? Comments from the audience? I need a motion.
Move to approve item OA3. OA.
Moved by Mr. Connexet, second by Ms. Ball to approve the credential waiver application approval. Student vote? Gone. Okay. Board vote? Motion carries. Oops. Motion carries 7-0. Okay. Provisional internship permit approval. Dr. Dosti?
President Knowles, members of the board, board approval is required for variable term credential waivers.
Any comments from the board? Comments from the audience? All right. Need a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Ball to approve.
Second.
Second by Ms. McFarland. Board vote, please. Motion carries 7-0. Okay, then we go to personnel matters. Dr. Dosti?
President Knowles, members of the board, routine personnel matters are presented for your consideration.
Thank you.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve by Mr. Porter.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Stroh to approve personnel matters. Board vote. Motion carries 7-0. Now we have some reports. Major L, got it. Major L is taken care of. Good job. Very good. That's one less. Okay, local control and accountability plan. Dr. Sally.
President Nava, members of the board, Mr. Young, if you recall, board, we had a study session a couple weeks back, and preceding that were several meetings with the community groups and bargaining groups to collect their input on the desired for our LCAP expenditures. If you'll recall, a year ago, we had a significant increase in our LCAP expenditures, and we were able to add a number of positions. This year, the increase is considerably smaller. Dr. Seha will present the status of where we are and recommendations for the board.
Okay, Mr. Seha.
President Nava, Mr. Young, members of the board, if we can open up the second attachment, please. So tonight we're here to present prioritization. As you'll recall, at our board study session in March, board asked staff to review available data and identify what were our priorities and to present that to board for additional input. Tonight we have an LCAP update just to verify our timeline and our remaining tasks related to the LCAP, and we do have the priorities in in order as the board requested, and we have some additional information for your review. On this page, you'll see the timeline of what we've done related to LCAP to date. There are a variety of tasks that have already been completed. Tonight, we are presenting our prioritization of our actions for your review and additional input. Still to go are to present, we have one parent group remaining to present the LCAP to get their review and input. We did last week present the LCAP to our DLAC group and obtained additional input from our DLAC group. Our last remaining parent group to present to is our District Advisory Committee, which is scheduled in the month of May. Then in June, we'll bring back the LCAP for review and approval once it's finalized after taking all input into consideration. Next slide. Thank you. As board requested, we have prioritized the actions based on student outcome data, looking at some patterns, looking at how our students are currently performing, evaluating what are our greatest needs. We prioritized our actions, and so that's on the next slide. On this slide, you'll see our priorities and our recommendations on focus areas for the upcoming 23-24 LCAP. These priorities are presented in order of priority, number 1 being the top priority, number 3 being the lower priority. We are seeking comments and additional input from board tonight. There is an additional attachment that I'm sure you've had a chance to review. In that additional attachment, Mariah, Wary, and I went into much greater detail as to our recommendations regarding the FTE increases and the focus areas for those increases. We also included some student outcome data, mainly related to chronic absenteeism, which is an area that we see lots of need in the area of chronic absenteeism. It's across the state that this is an issue, but we notice it at many of our school sites where chronic absenteeism continues to be an area of need, and we are allocating additional resources to address those needs. So here are our priority areas. I'll give you a second to review, and then Mr. President, if you would like to let us know how you'd like to proceed and on obtaining additional feedback, or to let us know if we're on the right track with our priorities.
Thank you, Dr. Ceja. Any comments from the board on the presentation so far?
I just have a quick comment.
Quick comment by Ms. McFarland.
Thank you, President Nava. I liked the absenteeism because there's really none of these can be achieved if the students are not in their seats for the work to be done. So I hope with that, and then the safety issues that I'm sure are more expansive. I do appreciate the absenteeism being at the top.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Ceja, are we doing enough for this absenteeism? I know you hired your additional 3 FTEs and attendance advisors and current community liaisons. It's a big responsibility because the main thing we have to deal with is the parents. Parents are such an important factor to deal with because they're responsible for those youngsters to get to the classroom on time and be educated. I have a big concern about that because if you're not, like Ms. McFarland said, if you're not in the classroom, we can't teach you anything. And the main thing is your absenteeism and your tardiness. That's very key. Those people should be in class, and you feel that you're going to be doing enough with these staff members?
It is a great need. Last year, as you'll recall, we already added some FTE related to CWA, Child Welfare and Attendance staffing. So we added Child Welfare and Attendance staffing last year. We also added some community liaisons. Per board direction, we added community liaisons to specifically focus with our homeless group, which was a group that had higher need than the other student populations. We also added a community liaison last year for our foster students. So there are 2 community liaisons specifically working with those 2 groups. We added additional staffing in child welfare and attendance last year, so this would be an additional increase to last year's increase per board direction.
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the board?
Mr. Knopf,
Yes, Mr. Porter?
I have some questions.
Yes, sir, you bet.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Knopf. Take me through what happens right now. Let's use a high school example because that's what you guys highlighted was our comprehensive high schools and then our high schools with special needs, or independent schools. A kid is absent, what happens?
So if a kid is absent,
I'm sorry, a student.
yeah, if a student is absent, child welfare and attendance has processes for reaching out to the parent.
I'm just saying, one day they're absent.
One day they're absent, we would hope, we would,
Won't go home?
there's an automated phone call home
Okay.
per our systems.
And let's say it's chronic. What's chronic for us?
Chronic starts, I believe, at 3 days. That's when if the absences are not cleared, and there's 3 unexcused absences, that's where a letter is triggered and parents are notified of the 3 unexcused absences.
Letter goes out or email or what? Just a letter?
It's a letter in the mail. Child welfare and attendance.
Then what happens if the absentees continue?
I believe the next step is an additional letter along with a meeting with our child welfare and attendance clerks and school staff.
So now we're looking at 2 weeks, let's say, 3 weeks. And now they meet with child welfare. What happens then?
I believe it's 3 days, 6 days, and then 10 days that triggers an additional letter and additional meetings with the parents, with school staff to try and address the concern. Concurrently, school staff may also be having SST meetings with the parents and families to try to discuss why students aren't able to come to school and discuss strategies to help them be able to attend school.
So we're looking at about 20 days, you say, before we really act?
At the 10-day mark is where it really starts to...
How many days are in a quarter? 44?
I would have to look at the calendar. I don't know if any other staff can help me out.
As far as, Mr. Porter, your microphone, when you sit away from it, I wasn't sure what the question was, but I would also, just quickly, Mr. Porter, members of the board, Alan Dostie, Dr. Dostie was the previous CWA attendance coordinator. He would have more specific details he could provide you if you have questions about the procedures.
The reason why I'm going through this is like I don't know if the board knows the exact procedures in terms of absenteeism.
Okay.
The reason why I'm conducting this series of questions is for information. I'm not asking Mr. Seau to go out and grab every kid that's absent.
No, I was just providing specifically Dr. Dostie's here.
First of all, I agree with, and I brought this up, I think, 4 or 5 meetings ago when we presented all the students, all the schools' reports.
SARC,
remember that
yes.
document, the SARS that we had, and I talked about absenteeism. So here we are with absenteeism, which I think is a very righteous thing. My concern is, as Mr. Nava pointed out, do we have enough people for you to do it? You're asking for 3 full-time employees to cover, what do we have, 54 schools, is that correct? Am I off?
Yeah, I'm going to fail that. It's somewhere in the 53, 54, 55 with our LDA and VRA and independent study.
I'm just saying, so do you think you have enough? Because I looked at the absenteeism, and very righteous thing. Attendance is very good. On your student achievement, I thought that was the second great opportunity for us to look at things. I noticed, though, that we're not talking about anything in terms of A through G. Why is that?
Dr. Solly may be able to provide additional insight. There is a separate source of funding where we are able to develop initiatives specifically catered to A through G. Dr. Solly, if you would like to.
That is correct. We do have an A to G grant. We're working to develop plans to maximize that. The basic LCAP obviously is established to provide core basic support, which includes what's termed the broad course of study, which covers the A to G content areas. The A to G grant is a specific grant to provide some additional actions to that. So that's why it's not specifically called out in here.
Right.
However, this meeting is our last opportunity to collect board input.
Right.
And to your point earlier, do we have enough? Like Dr. Seha mentioned, Dr. Wary and Mr. Rector really combed through the staffing available currently for attendance positions, and is trying to reprioritize where the additional positions will go. I'm sorry.
I was moving to the next part of LCAP.
Yeah.
With student achievement.
Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the A to G grant, we still have till 2028 to maximize that, 27, 28. And we really haven't started launching into that yet, and we are planning on working that. In fact, the meeting Friday.
How much is that grant?
That is about $500,000 to $600,000 a year.
A year for till 28?
Till 27, 28.
27, 28. Now, can you explain to everybody what A through G stands for? Because a lot of people think it's grades.
The A to G is a system that was established by the UC CSU system, and each letter represents a core subject area, and for whatever reason they don't align very well. Like, for example, C is our math, and there's a battery of courses that the UC is interested in our high school students completing, such as X numbers of years of math or science or English. And those are, when those are completed, you are acceptable to the CSU UC systems as an enrolled student, provided other things obviously are in place, GPA and so forth.
I know we're off track a little bit, but when are you implementing the $600,000 for this year?
We have utilized some of the funds already in our analyzation, or our it's called the Measuring Student Learning Project. And so we're continuing that this summer. We're looking at other actions to help provide additional opportunities, potentially zero periods, potentially some dual enrollment opportunities. So we're digging into that for, actually we're meeting Friday.
Obviously, tonight we had, I believe, 12 expulsions and 2 readmissions. And a lot of those issues go into, I think, I'm not sure, the aspect of mental health and what these kids are experiencing right now. A lot of it, of course, comes from social media. I notice some school districts are trying to move to banning phones at schools, and there's some action in Congress as well, but which would help those, I believe, from the mental health aspect as well. So I applaud you for what you've done so far. And again, if you need anything more from me to promote some of your ideas, I like where we're headed in terms of number 1, the absenteeism, 2, looking at student achievement because we're not doing well, and number 3, of course, the mental health aspect of it as well. And Dr. Sully, thank you for the information on A through G. I'm done, Mr. Nava.
All right, thank you, Mr. Porter.
Oh, I had 2 more questions. I promise.
You must be kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, my God.
Now, on your, even the computer locked me out. DLAC. How many people make that up? Your DLAC committee, because you said you're going to present this to DLAC.
We presented last week to DLAC, and I believe
You're going to present after this meeting.
District Advisory Committee. That's the one.
That's DAC.
DAC, yeah.
Now, who makes up DAC?
DAC, we ask our Title I schools and our non-Title I schools to identify one parent per school, and then we work with the site principal to invite those parents to our District Advisory Committee meeting. It's usually parents that are already on the school site council or involved with PTA or somehow involved in the school.
You get 100% attendance?
We, our attendance ranges from anywhere from 15 to 28 on the higher side.
15 to 20%?
15 to 28 parents.
Out of 55, how many Title I schools do we have?
We have 24 altogether.
And you said 28 parents, so that's good. That's good. That's very good. And then the DLAC committee, that of course helps with English learners. And how many are in that committee? Who makes that up?
The DLAC, I would have to get specific numbers from Eba Martinez, but I believe attendance at the DLAC group ranges anywhere from 10 to 30
Yeah, but I was asking
parents.
who makes it? Parents?
parents of English learners is the target audience for that DLAC
When
group.
do they meet? I like to go to one of those meetings.
We'd be happy to invite you. Dr. Solly and I can work with Eva Martinez to extend an
You already
invitation.
presented this to them?
We have.
Really?
Mhm.
I'm a little late.
You late?
I'm done, Mr. Nava.
All right, thank you, Mr. Porter. Any other comments from the board for our Dr. Seha or Dr. Sally? I think we're on track for this LCAP. We've had so many meetings and study sessions and so forth, and I know that sometimes we can be redundant on questions that we ask because of the material that you present to us. But thank you very much, Dr. Seha, for your report. Dr. Sally?
Thank you. Appreciate the input.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, we get to communications. Comments from employee group representatives.
Good evening, President Nava, members of the board. Addition for our classified employees was wonderful to see. However, I think the board has forgotten that it is Teacher Appreciation Week. Tomorrow is the California Day of the Teacher as well as School Nurses Day. It would have been nice to see a proclamation honoring the 1,400 teachers in Lodi Unified that do the primary job of Lodi Unified, which is to educate our children. Right now, I'm going to tell you that teachers are tired. It's the end of the year. Sure that you appreciate teachers tomorrow on the California Day of the Teachers would be helpful, to say the least, as we get our students to get through the last of the year, get promoted to the next grade, to graduate to their next adventure, and hopefully to continue their education once they do graduate from high school. Teachers will be there at all these events to cheer on their students and to wish them well. The next thing I want to talk about is bargaining. Now that the reopeners have been accepted, please come to the table. There are so many things that we need to talk about that were in your reopeners, the district's reopeners, as well as the LEA reopeners that don't cost money. I realize that the May Revise presentation is going to be coming up next week. But in the meantime, there are so many things that we need to talk about. We talked about absenteeism. What can teachers do? How can our contract help keep kids in school? I think there are a lot of things that teachers can do. We talked about student achievement. Well, of course, that's our number one goal, is to make sure these students achieve, that they go on to the next grade, they go on to graduate. Being a middle school teacher, I want to see them promote. I really don't want to see them come back for another year. But no, we want to see them promote. We want these people to be successful. But you got to support our teachers in doing that. And there are areas in the contract that we can do better in doing that. And finally, I've been talking to a lot of Title I schools. As Mr. Seha mentioned, we have about 24 Title I schools. And a lot of those teachers are feeling unsafe. They really feel that their students are acting out, and the reason they're acting out is because they need support, more support. It's ask the teachers to do this without pay. You say, do it for the outcome. Well, I'm sorry, but teachers are all telling me too that they have bills to pay. I don't know about you, but my PG&E bills this year are about 50% more than they were last year. I'm one of those spreadsheet gals. I track everything. and gas, milk, mortgages. If you have an adjustable rate mortgage, your mortgage rate has gone up. Teachers have to pay the bills too. Don't ask them to overextend themselves if you're not willing to do the same. So finally, I do want to say that for any of my teachers that are out online listening, that LEA appreciates you. We know that we're in this job. We're making less money than other people who have our degrees can make, but we're in it because we do love the kids. But we're also being bent to a breaking point. So don't break. If you need to take the time, take the time. And it's almost done. We have 18 days left. We can get through it. And thank you. Thanks.
Thank you for your comments. Any other employee group representatives?
Good evening, Mr. Nava, Mr. Young, members of the board. Thank you for the proclamation from earlier this evening. I didn't expect my name to be called, so thank you. I appreciate that. The only thing that I really would like to remind you of at this time is I did see a stipend for the special ed teachers for LEA, and I do want to remind you that Classified tried to get our COLA on total compensation, and we were not given anything other than besides COLA. And I know you guys strive really hard to be fair to all the groups, but I am here for Classified, so I do want to remind you of that and bring that to your attention. Our healthcare is, as you all know, extremely costly, and I just don't see we got total compensation once, and if we don't continue to allocate it that way, I don't really think that there's ever going to be help for us on our healthcare. So I would like to remind you of that. I do want to share with you that we are currently going through the process of our successor agreement and surveying our members, and we will be coming to you with a sunshine proposal. It will need to be approved by our members, so it'll be a little bit before you see it. In the meantime, I would like to reach out to some of our new board members and get to know you a little bit. Dr. Ball, I worked a little bit with Sherry and Mr. Stroh. But I would like to educate you guys a little bit on our salary schedule and some of our problems that we have. Every group is unique. Every group has their needs. And I think one of the biggest challenges right now with Classified is the salary schedule. It does not reflect minimum wage at all. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Any other comments or employee representatives? All right, comments from board members? Mr. Stroh?
I'm fine.
Okay. Ms. Alexander?
First and foremost, I wanted to thank our IT people for all your help tonight. But I just want to say thank you always. IT people are out of my wheelhouse. And my screen goes black. Michael, did you do that?
You scared the screen.
I scared my screen. I also wanted to thank you for bringing that up this whole week for teacher appreciation. Getting invites to go see and celebrate with teachers is always, I remember coming into the end of the year and having that be super important, just kind of mental refreshing and help being appreciated for that. I had the honor on May the 4th of emceeing the Tokay Cluster Concert that had all the elementary schools and middle school and Tokay bands, and I encourage anybody who's ever been invited to go see all our kids and their musical talents. They are so talented and so amazing, and it was just a really special night. Of course, it was May the 4th, so science geek there, but it was really quite amazing to see what these kids have gone through, and from elementary school and up to high school. So it was really cool. Very cool.
Thank you, Sherry. Mr. Porter?
Oh, just on the McNair situation, the logo.
Yes.
It sounds like there's some miscommunication.
There is miscommunication.
I would like to see people involved get together.
Okay,
The student rep did a very nice job.
let's do it.
We would like to get that together. The other thing I was talking about earlier with Mr. Khan was the grand jury report. Was refreshers on new things that are coming up before legislature. And I think we need to take a look what's out there for us for a different, maybe legal representation. I think we should be doing that at least on a tri-year basis. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you very much. And from the young man, from Mr. McNair, excellent report tonight. And hopefully we'll be communicating on the new logo.
Thank you, Ms. Paul.
I do quickly, President Nava, thank you, Teachers Week.
Appreciate
And I
it.
kind of
Yes.
looked through our past agendas. I'm not sure if you had one already, but as we sincerely appreciate everything they do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson?
Not all of our student reps are gone, but I just wanted to say thank you to our student reps. Hopefully you learned a few things, and more important, a few things not to do also. So thanks for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Knaxat. In closing, I really, as a former teacher, I really appreciate a pat in the back when I was teaching. My gosh, it meant a whole lot. I just relate a little story. I went through about 10 or 15 principals during my tenure of teaching, and most of them did not compliment teachers. Finally, at the last year of my teaching career, I asked the principal, "Do you ever pat anybody in the back for a good job?" And he was silent. And then to do that, I says, "Don't be a phony. Just make sure that you are sincere. And if you mention their name and thank you for doing this great job for us, that means 100% on performance and everything." Everybody likes to hear their name spoken, especially by an administrator. So I think that's the key. All right, no more comments from the board? Then I need a motion to adjourn, please.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Porter.
Mr. Nava?
Yes, I'm not finished yet, sir. I'll be with you in a minute, okay? I'm going to adjourn this meeting and then we'll go to closed session.
Okay, I just want to make sure we weren't
All right.
completely adjourning the meeting.
Second.
Okay. Good. Motion by Mr. Porter, second by Ms. Paul to adjourn this regular meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? No motion. Carries. Meeting adjourned. We will have a short closed session meeting after this. Thank you.
Excuse me. No,
No. I was on top of that one.
It's really good to meet you. Yeah, it's fun. How are you? I'm sorry, I'm missing the 24th. That's okay. I heard that you were in Hawaii.
session.
Oh.
Okay, hold on,
Thank you.
one more time?
One more time.
There is no report out of closed session. No action taken. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
Gotta pay my bill.
Pay your bill. What bill? What's that?
Drop it off for me and my insurance.
Oh,
I
okay.
usually give it to,
Thanks for all the help with the computers.
Kenny, thank